Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a mission to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about evaluating functions, so we're looking at problems that look something like this. I give you a function, f of x equals 2x squared minus 5x plus 1, and then I ask you something like, find f of 2, and that's how you'd read it, f of 2. And just so you know, it's really important you understand what I'm asking here and what this means, because it's very simple, but most of my students do not know this. When I write f of 2, I'm essentially asking what is the value of y when x equals 2. X is always the thing in the parentheses, so in this case it's 2. And the y value is the same thing as f of x. And I'm going to say that again because it's so important. F of x is the same thing as y. Like I could literally replace this with y equals 2x squared minus 5x plus 1, and the problem wouldn't change really at all. So how do we do this? How do we find f of 2? Well, it's easy. All I got to do, wherever I see an x, I just have to replace it with a 2, like I'm doing right now. Putting it in parentheses, like I did, is technically optional, depending on the circumstance, but I like to do it, and I recommend you do it as well. So then order of operations would say to find 2 squared first, because exponents come before multiplication. So in other words, 2 squared is 4, and then 2 times 4 is 8, and then minus 5 times 2, so that's just minus 10, and then finally plus 1. So really what we have here is 8 minus 10 plus 1. That gets me negative 1, and that's my answer. I don't need to say anything else. We're done here. Now let's do another one. This time I want to find f of negative 3. So go ahead, try this one on your own, pause the video, and when you're ready to see the solution, unpause. So first we have 2 times parenthesis negative 3 squared minus 5 times negative 3 plus 1. I gotta do the squared first. Negative 3 squared is positive 9, emphasis on positive, and 2 times 9 is 18. Negative 5 times negative 3 becomes plus 15, and then still plus 1. So 18 plus 15 is 33, plus 1, we're going to get 34, and that's our final answer. Now for the next one, still the same function starting out. I'm going to ask for something weird this time. This time I want you to find f of a. How would I do that? Well, again, the rule applies the same. I just replace every x with an a in parentheses like this. The only difference now is what I do from here. In general, I can't do too much simplification with the a, so all I can really say is the first term is going to be 2a squared, and then minus 5a, and then plus 1. And that's what we would say. This is my final answer. This is 100% correct. And no, you cannot reduce this or simplify this. And now we're going to look at one more for this function. This time I want f of a plus 1. This one again I'm going to help us through. So first I'm replacing every x with a plus 1 in parentheses. And now let me tell you the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do would be dealing with this squared, calling it a squared plus 1 squared. That is wrong. That is not how we do this. Instead, I recommend you write it out as this, 2 times a plus 1 times a plus 1, because we will have to FOIL this. I recommend foiling the a plus 1s first. So in other words, a times a is a squared, plus 1 times a is just a, plus another a times 1, another plus a, and then 1 times 1 is 1. That will reduce to a squared plus 2a plus 1. But don't forget, this is all still times the 2, that 2 right there from earlier. And now I'll distribute that. It'll be 2a squared plus 4a plus 2. And now this is not the final answer. This was all just the first term right here. I still have to write the minus 5a plus 1 and a plus 1 at the end as well. So now distributing the minus 5 to both of these terms, it would be minus 5a minus 5 plus 1, and then still the part out front. And now it's just a question of reducing. The 2a squared cannot reduce with anything. We have 4a minus 5a, which will just get me minus a. And then the 2, the negative 5, and the plus 1 will get me negative 2, or just minus 2. And here is our final answer. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, we have one more example we're going to look at today. This time I have the function g of t is equal to negative 2t squared plus 40. Even though it's t instead of x, it's the same idea. So in other words, when I ask for g of 5, you're just going to be plugging in 5 wherever you see a t. And so now let me just write out all 4 questions I'm going to have for this one. And in no particular order, I want you to find all 4 of these. So pause the video, and when you're ready to see the solution, unpause. Okay, first, 5 is easy. It's just plugging in 5 here. That's going to be 5 squared, which is 25. Negative 2 times 25 is negative 50. And negative 50 plus 40 is negative 10. So we will get negative 10 for that first one. Now, with negative 5, it's kind of a trick question. And the reason why I say that is because when I plug in negative 5 squared, that's going to be positive 25. Because negative numbers squared become positive numbers. And from here, the question is identical to the first one with g of 5, so we will get negative 10 again for negative 5. Now the y plus 2 is going to be definitely more tricky. First, I just substitute a y plus 2 in where the t was, and just like before, I am going to write this out twice, y plus 2 times y plus 2, and I am going to FOIL this. So y times y is y squared, y times 2 is plus 2y. We get another plus 2y from the middle, and then 2 times 2 is plus 4. All of that needs to be multiplied by a negative 2 in front, and then plus 40. So first, real quick, I am going to add these two y's together to make 4y, still in the parentheses. And now, distributing the negative 2 to everything, we're going to get negative 2y squared minus 8y minus 8, and then we are still plus 40. So then negative 8 plus 40 is the only thing that can be reduced here. That is going to be plus 32, and then the rest of the stuff out front just comes along for the ride. And there we go. That's the answer for y plus 2. And then the last one I have here, this one might be the toughest one of all because it's all variables, g of x plus h. So I start out doing the exact same thing, x plus h in parentheses squared plus 40. I am going to write out x plus h twice, once again. All of this is not new. And then this is the part where things are going to start looking a little bit different. X times x is x squared, x times h is plus xh, and then h times x is plus hx, and h times h is plus h squared. Now real quick, I do want to mention x times h and h times x are the same thing. The order does not matter if it's multiplication, which it is. It's x times h and h times x. So in other words, I can flip the order of either one. I'll flip the order of the second one. So now that's x times h. And x times h plus x times h is 2xh. And you need to know that in order to get this question right. And then I just put everything else there in the problem. Now I distribute negative 2 to all these terms, giving me negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared, and then the plus 40 is not getting distributed there, so it just stays along for the ride, unchanged. And I look at this, none of this can be combined, and so therefore this is going to be my final answer. So that's all the questions I have to look at today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.